Practice, practice, practice. We're always talking about how you have to practice to get better at darts, and yes, that is true. You do have to put in work on the practice board to get better, but what's also true is that if you are over practicing, it'll be much more detrimental to your darts game than not practicing at all. So in this one, I'm going to go over some signs that you might be over practicing and talking about the negative effects that these will have on your darts. But first guys, if you are not subscribed, please make sure to hit that subscribe button before you go. Drop the video a thumbs up. And since we're talking about practice, drop your favorite practice game down in the comments below. Alright guys, so the first thing we're going to talk about here is having fun when you are playing darts. If you find yourself hitting the practice board and you are not having fun throwing, or if you're going out to tournaments and not having fun throwing, this is a very good sign that you are over practicing and over throwing. We all throw darts to have fun, and if we're not having fun, what's the point of throwing? So the second you find yourself not having fun throwing, I think this is the time where you might want to take a little bit of a break, because when you start to not have fun, this is leading into my number 2, and that is dart starts to feel like a chore or a job. Once dart starts to feel like a chore or a job, that's when it's going to start not being fun. And the last thing you want to do is feel obligated to throw darts. When you go to the practice board or go out to tournaments, this is the time to have fun and throw and enjoy your time. But if you find yourself not having fun and it's starting to feel like a chore, there's a very good chance that your numbers are going to go down because you're not enjoying yourself. I always find my darts to come out when I'm having the most fun throwing. So if darts starts to feel like a chore to you and you're not having fun, take a step away from the game and remind yourself why you started throwing in the first place. Alright guys, we're going to move on to number 3, and this is that you cannot find yourself focusing while throwing darts. This is a big problem I ran into last year. I found myself going to the dartboard and putting in a bunch of time with no real focus or anything in mind, other than the mindset of thinking that the more I throw, the better I'm going to get. I didn't really have any practice games I was playing. I just had the mindset thinking that if I was at the board throwing, I was going to get positive benefits. But boy, was I wrong. What I found myself doing was that since I was doing so much mindless throwing at the dartboard, I was not focused at all during my practice. And then when I would go out to darts tournaments, it was impossible to find any focus while throwing. I always say that you're a product of what you practice. So if you find yourself practicing and you cannot focus in your practice, when you get to the competitive dartboard, it's going to be the same thing. You're not going to be able to focus, and once again, your numbers are going to be low. So if you find yourself doing a lot of practicing where you're struggling to focus, once again, I think this is a time to take a small break, or you have to make the mental adjustment to make sure you are 100% focusing in your practice. An easy way to do this is by splitting up your practice. The small breaks in between will help you find your focus, and then when you get back to the board, you're gonna find yourself much more focused. All right, let's move on to number 4, and this is going to be body discomfort or body pain or dealing with some kind of injury. Yes, darts is not the most physically demanding sports in the world, but that does not mean that we are immune to injury. Yes, it is important to play enough that you are building up your darts muscles so you don't feel any muscle soreness, but there's a big difference between being sore after doing something and feeling pain. So if you start to feel the pain, once again, this is a very good sign that you are over practicing. Usually if I'm feeling pain, it'll come in my throwing elbow or my lead leg, because I do put a lot of weight in that and I do stand on the ball of my foot a little bit, creating some tension in my calf and knee. So if I find myself feeling that pain, I know that I need to step back and let myself recover. All right guys, the last thing we're going to talk about here, and this is basically where this whole video is going, is that your numbers are going to be low. If you find all your averages being much lower than normal, this is usually a result of all these other things that I've talked about in this video, which once again all boils down to the fact that there's a very good chance that you are over practicing. Yes, there are a number of different things that could go into you having low numbers, but the combination of all these things of not having fun, darts feeling like a chore, not being able to focus when you're on the dartboard, and feeling pain is all a recipe for disaster of overtraining. So if you find yourself experiencing any of these things, make sure you take a step away from the game, let yourself recover, re-find your passion for darts, and then when you get back to the practice board, you'll be better than ever. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you're new, make sure you hit that subscribe button before you go. Drop the video a thumbs up. The video should have popped up somewhere over here. Click one, click them both. Check out BullshotDarts.com for Bullshot Apparel and MagicWear.com for the Bullshot Darts jersey. Links for those will be down below. Alright guys, I'll see you all in the next one, and shoot well.